Frank Holmes of U.S. Global Investors, great to have you back in studio.
It's great to be in New York with you.
You've been following me, or I've been following you. We were at PDAC, we were at the BMO, we did all the conferences. Obviously a busy time in the mining space. What was the sentiment? What did you feel? Do you think we're in a good place right now?
Well, I think the sentiment was very strong in BMO. In particular because of the mega merger and the debate on who's going to win, and it's resolved itself, and the partnership in Nevada. I think that's very significant because the battle of Barrick trying to take over Newmont was it was a poor
getting
idea.
ugly.
It's a bad idea because Mark did not want to be listed here, a head office in the U.S., so therefore he'd be kicked out of the S&P, the stocks would crash.
Right, and that's something that's important to you and to Pierre Lassonde. You wanted Barrick, obviously, to remain more Canadian.
Yes, and it's not. The issue is with Mark Bristow, he's going to try to move everything to the cheapest labor, geologists, et cetera, is going to be South Africa.
Right.
And so that's really tragic. And then Goldcorp is still going to have their office in Vancouver, and that intellectual capital is important. And I think that's what I...
But consolidation as a whole, right? The merger and acquisition, it's alive and well in the space right now. Do you see that as a positive?
Well, it's trying to tell you something. It's called peak gold. They're scrambling to try to maintain. They can't replace. Just think of Nevada. Nevada produces, those two companies, when they put their joint venture together, will produce 4 million ounces a year. Mm-hmm. Right? There's hardly discoveries a year. They can't replace them. But they have lots of reserves in place today. So if they collaborate and drive down their costs, then they can maintain that 4 million ounces a year.
But the question is, Frank, because I've had other experts come on saying we've hit peak gold, the Intel for example, but when will we start to see it reflected in the price?
It was right now. It says it keeps bumping up.
But shouldn't it be higher if we really have run out of reserves?
Well, I have no idea what the central bankers play with the G20 cartel with the world of gold. But what's also interesting is why gold's above 1,300 is seeing the amount of debt that's offering negative real interest rates. It's $9 trillion.
So the fair trade.
So Europe is turning around. They should be backing up and buying as much gold as, if you're in Europe, you should be buying as much gold and silver as you can because it's just currency destruction.
Okay, and on a day like yesterday, for example, we saw gold and equities move in tandem. We're seeing, gold and the dollar no longer moving in opposite directions. So what do you think that's telling us, Frank?
Well, I think you get some smart guys who understand this thesis that there's peak gold and this is very hard to replace, so you're going to get these mergers to try to maintain their status quo. The growth is going to be small mid-cap stocks, but the micro-cap explorers still don't have a bid. There's still not a lot of enthusiasm in that space, but I think the mid-caps are the most interesting places.
Frank, one thing that's sticking out to me is that we're seeing new innovative technologies finally coming on board here in the mining sector. We know that Goldcorp has their annual talent pool, kind of Shark Tank style, looking to recruit new innovation. You're involved in artificial intelligence in mining. Tell us about how this can change the landscape here.
Well, it's phenomenal. The most amazing place is Montreal. That's what shocked me.
My hometown.
Your hometown.
Right.
It's back in your hood. It's become an epicenter for these young people, PhDs in different sciences that do not want to move to New York and make more money. They don't want to go to Washington or Silicon Valley. So Microsoft is all of a sudden building a 5,000 campus.
Yes.
So there's lots of great things. So I'm involved with Goldspot, and Goldspot has 9 PhDs.
Montreal headquartered. Right?
Yeah, Montreal, and it's 9 PhDs and 11 other scientists, and they've had lots of success. Eric Sprott has invested in it. Eric loves what they've done. They basically de-risk a lot of wasted exploration dollars. And Hochschild, they give us a big footprint in Peru. They're major investors. So we have 10 really significant. In New York City, we have Elliott Management through their royalty company called Triple Flag in Toronto. They bought 10% of the company. So people are really believing this AI, and I'm a big believer of it because I can see what can be done with it. And so that's where I think will be a catalyst to try to find some more gold ounces.
Finally, Frank, I know we've spoken about this in the past, but you don't chase the price of gold, right? Do you follow it daily? Do you care if you have huge swings, volatility? Or do you have like a longer term picture?
I'm much more like I would think, or the Ray Dalio approach of I talk about the 10% golden rule, and you should be 10% and then rebalance. Rebalance once a quarter, once a year.
So you're 10%?
Minimum. It's a 10% rule. You should always have a minimum of 10%. If you're more aggressive, then you can go up to 25, 30%. But there's some math that suggests that's a greater risk you're taking.
And you're in mining stocks or physical bullion?
Both. And I love Monet because I can turn around, like in India and China, you wear your beautiful gold jewelry. You wear your money. And so I think that's one of our big stocks. We've a key investor in that, and I think it's going to be disruptive to a lot of gold jewelers. And Gold Spot is the AI. So I'm trying to be involved, Daniela, in two industries which are disruptive. And they're young people, and they're young, Royce Bag and Denny, they're young.
We've had them both on the show, and they are disruptors, the Ubers to the precious metals and mining landscape. Frank Holmes, thank you so much for stopping by.
It's great to be with you.